Once you hear that voice, offers you no choice. You gotta grab it and run.
Hey guys, Tom from Xena Mastering here. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on EQ, equalization, to start off this YouTube series. The most common question I get about EQ is what is it, believe it or not. Most people, they understand the principle of audio manipulation and audio optimization, but they don't necessarily understand what all the processing does individually, compressors, EQs, etc. Everyone pretty much has used an EQ or an equalizer at some point in their lives. Every car has bass, mid, and treble control, and then you can turn the gain up and down on each one of those individual ranges. You can do positive for more bass, negative for less bass, positive for more mid, negative for less mid, etc. So everybody sort of understands that basic concept of I want to turn the bass range up or the bass range down. In the pro audio arena, it's the same basic principle. It's just on steroids. So I'm going to pull up an EQ here on this acoustic guitar, which I'm going to play for you. And you can see I pulled up just a basic Pro Tools 7-band equalizer. This will work with any EQ, any software platform, whether it be Logic, Nuendo, any EQ that's a parametric EQ, and that just means you have control over the parameters within that equalizer. So when I open it up, you'll see several different colors and nodes in this graph here. Let's start with the graph. First of all, you look at the numbers on the left-hand side. You've got 0 running horizontally, and then +6, +12, +18. And then below the 0 line, -6, -12, and -18. That is decibels. So that is essentially gain or volume. Running horizontally here, you see 20, 50, 100, 50, 1K, 5K, 10K, 20K. That's frequency. And basically what that means is cycles per second of a wave. Everyone can intuitively picture a sound wave in their head. It looks like positive and negative oscillations. And basically all that is air pressure. When the wave goes up, the air pressure is moving toward you. When it goes down, it's moving away from you. Sound is just air particles colliding with one another across time. The rate at which that wave goes towards you and goes away from you is the frequency of the audio. That directly relates to pitch. The faster those pressure waves are moving, the higher the pitch. The slower they're moving, the lower the pitch. So this basically gives you pitch versus volume. Now, if I were to hit play here and just show you really quick without explaining any of the parameters, you can very clearly see the effect that it has, or I'm sorry, very clearly hear the effect that it has on the audio. So I'm going to take this range right here, this yellow node, and I'm just going to, without explaining what I'm doing, I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to give you a boost in the mid-range and then a cut in the mid-range. And then I'll explain exactly how this works. So let's hit play and give it a go. Okay, you probably noticed, and without getting into the technical, you probably noticed when I did the boost, you got a very hollow, cardboard, boxy kind of sound. That is a very common descriptor of a boost in the dead mid-range of our hearing capability, right around 684 hertz, or 684 cycles per second of a sound wave. That's the center of the range that I boosted. And then I cut it, and you probably noticed it started to sound very thin and choked. Mid-range is like that. It gives character to a particular sound, and boosting it enhances that character almost to an extreme, like I did the first time, or it cuts it and then it sort of removes character from it, makes it sound a little more thin and hollow. So let's talk about this axis right here, the gain. This is a positive boost. This is a negative boost. I'm sorry, or a negative cut. So right now I'm boosting 684 hertz, and right now I'm cutting 698 hertz. Now you've probably noticed that's your frequency and your gain. Very simple. Frequency is what pitch my cut or boost is centered on, right? And then the gain is, am I boosting or am I cutting? Very, very simple. Now the thing you probably have noticed I haven't talked about is the Q yet. Now Q is the width or the narrowness of the booster cut. So it's really very simple if you look at it, pictorially on this graph. Right now with a Q of 1, I'm doing a 18 decibel boost, so the gain is set to 18 dB at 732 hertz. Now, if you notice when I change the Q to a higher value, what we call the bell curve becomes more narrow. Basically, that means that 732 hertz being the center of that boost, the boost tapers off much more radically as you go above and below that particular frequency. In other words, I'm pinpointing that frequency. I've chosen 732 hertz, I've boosted by a lot, 18 dB is a lot, and now that frequency is being boosted by 18, but everything above and below it very quickly goes back to the 0 line. It's not being boosted or cut. What this results in is a very specific frequency that pops out. Error message. So you probably noticed that as I was moving that node back and forth, as I was changing the frequency, keeping the gain the same, an 18 dB boost, you were hearing that specific frequency pop out. It sounds like a whistly sound to our ears. So as I sweep around, you hear that frequency, that one frequency popping out as I go around. Let's do it again. So this can be a really good ear training tool for beginners. If you're not sure what frequencies sound like what, you're like, I don't know what 1000 hertz sounds like, or 1K, you can very quickly find 1K on your graph, make your Q, the width of the boost or the cut, very narrow, and then boost your gain by 18 decibels, or as much as the EQ will go. This will allow you to pick a frequency and very quickly hear it, very quickly have it pop out of the picture that this particular guitar has sonically. So I'm going to move away from the guitar now and go to the vocals, and I'm going to show you how to get more breath out of a vocal. The breath in a vocal is in the high frequencies, the very high frequencies. I've already done a bunch of EQing to this vocal, and you'll notice looking at this EQ, I've done some pretty middle of the road Q, so a nice, like, not too wide, but pretty wide cut at around 1K, 998 hertz, close to 1000. And then I've got this 196 hertz cut right here in the red. All very gradual, only 4 decibels, which is not a heck of a lot. I'm going to find the air in this vocal, which is anywhere between 4 kilohertz and 10 kilohertz. I'm going to find it, I'm going to widen the Q, and give it a nice gradual boost, and you'll be able to hear how it brings out the breath in the vocal track. Here we go.
How we few years beneath my belt. There's been no free rides here, just a handout. I've only a few years beneath my belt. There's been no free rides here, just a hand I was dealt.
Okay, I've exaggerated this so you can really hear the difference, but right now I've got a center of 6.85 kilohertz, so my frequency is set to 6.85, and I've got a Q of 0.37, that's very wide, and a gain of 6.7 decibels. What does that all mean? I am boosting 6.85 kilohertz by 6.7 decibels, so that's 6,850 cycles per second is the center. I'm boosting it by 6.7 dB with a very wide swath. So the center may be 6.85K, but all the frequencies around it are also being affected and boosted. So now I'm going to use this in button right here. You'll see when I switch over to the screen. And I'm going to take that particular high-mid frequency, the green one, in and out so you can hear the difference in real time. And you'll see it appear and disappear from the graph as I take it in and out. Here we go.
I've only a few years beneath my belt. There's been no free rides here, just a hand I was dealt. Maybe in the next lifetime I'll live like a king. Servants will heed my call and I won't do a thing. I won't do a thing. But for now I'll take a match and watch my past burn. Set fire to my mistakes and hope that I learn. That I'll come up for air with my chips all cashed in.
Okay, so as you can see, as I took that boost in and out, as I made that boost active and inactive, you could hear the breath in the vocal come out when it was in, and then the breath disappear when it was out. Breathy vocals are one of those aesthetic choices that people make from genre to genre, from song to song. This particular singer has a nice airy quality to the voice, so bringing out that frequency range I think would be a good thing. To recap, gain. Are you boosting or are you cutting? And if the numbers are positive, you're boosting. If the numbers are negative, you're cutting. Frequency. What range are you affecting? 20 hertz is the low range, is the low end of the low range. 20 kilohertz is the high end of the high range, or 20,000 hertz in human hearing. So anywhere in between there, you can affect. And then Q, how wide or narrow is the cut or the boost? Are you boosting just that one specific frequency with a high Q, a Q closer to 10, or are you boosting that frequency and lots of frequencies around it, gradually tapering down as you go up and down with a low Q value, in the case of this song, like 0.37. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'm just gonna keep working here.
Ain't no time for plans. You just take a stand.